just the way it's going to be here for a while. So I think once the game got going, you kind of focused on the task at hand.
Hey, Sean, what's your assessment of the team's overall performance tonight?
Look, I thought defensively we were outstanding. I'm proud of how we played in the kicking game as well. Offensively, that was probably as bad a game as I've had as a play caller. Just trying to find a rhythm and a tempo that was awful. So there'll be a lot we have to correct and clean up. There always is after the first week of the season, regular season, and certainly first game really for us to play. But there's a lot of things we're going to look at that we're going to need to clean up, and we'll try to do that beginning this week.
Kind of on those same lines, after the first two possessions you had on offense, on that third possession, did you feel like, hey, I had to kind of go through my play call and kind of call stuff that, try to get something jump-started? Did you feel that way?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's games where you feel like you get into a rhythm, and, I thought we ran the ball pretty well. I didn't really help us out any with some of the looks and some of the calls I made. Look, there's a handful of plays that we're going to watch on tape, and it's not going to be the players. It's on me. So I've got to be a lot better.
On the cornerbacks, it is the way you play defense. Is some of those pass interference calls just sort of go with the way you're playing when you're playing that tight on guys? Do you sort of accept some of those?
Listen, I can't, if there's one thing we've learned is to worry about the things we can control, and we can't control that.
The two players you called up from the practice squad in Benny Fowler and Marcus Hunt both had really big special teams plays today. How beneficial were they, especially just that you could bring them up from the practice squad?
Those were two big plays for us. They're veteran, experienced football players that both had good camps.
Sean, you also signed Demario Davis to an extension
affected you in your
last
play
night.
calling?
Can you sum up how much he's meant to this team and you expect him to continue meaning to this team?
Look, I'm happy. I felt confident that we were going to get Alvin's deal done. He's an exceptional player for us. Both sides worked real hard at it. And so, man, he looked good today, and I have a hard time. I didn't get a good angle on that last touchdown, but he means a lot to what we do offensively. So, congrats to both Mickey, his agent, Alvin, all of those people involved, and Kai to get that deal done.
It was reported during the game that Demario Davis was signed to a 3-year extension. Can you speak about what he brings to the Saints defense and why it was a priority to keep him around a little longer?
I didn't hear the question. It was reported during the game that what?
That Demario Davis was signed to a 3-year extension. Could you speak about what he brings to this defense?
Listen, I can speak to what he brings. I can't speak to an extension until, I hear of it here. Obviously, he's one of our leaders. He's a physical player. He runs well. Man, he's found his niche here too. And I'm proud of the role he's taken, not only as a linebacker, but as a leader on this team. And it's one of the things that I feel like as a head coach, you can never take for granted, but the leadership in the locker room is fantastic.
Sean, you talked about how this was going to be a game with adjustments. After that first drive on defense, do you guys feel like that process went really well and you guys were able to settle in and kind of figure out what you needed to do?
That obviously it was a tough first drive. They had a good rhythm and tempo, and conversely, we didn't. So fortunately, we were able to change the momentum and then, kind of keep it going through the second half and then out at the beginning of the beginning of the third quarter.
When the offense is kind of struggling like that, how big were those two picks, especially Janoris's pick six there?
Well, look, you win the turnover battle like we did. You have a turnover for a touchdown. I mean, you're 90-some% winner in those games, and obviously those are big plays for us. You block a field goal. I mean, there's just a lot of things happened in that game that despite how you play, those things can help you win games. And the energy and effort I was pleased with.
Sean, what did they do against Mike Thomas that kind of maybe made it hard to get him the ball?
We got a little bit more zone pressure from them than we normally get. And again, I get back to, man, he's a fantastic player. I did a poor job. I said it at the beginning. We'll look at the tape, we'll clean it up, and but obviously he's a tremendous threat for us.
Hey, Sean, what did you see in the 46-yard throw from Brees to Cook there later in the second half?
Yeah, look, we got behind the defense with a little double move. Jared's one of those guys that does a good job with his catch radius. He made a play over his head. It was a fantastic throw, and the protection was good. So good play by Drew getting us to that look, and we took advantage of a matchup.
And Sean, just the impact the special teams had on this game. Can you talk about how they performed for you guys?
Look, I thought, again, man, they set up field position. We won that battle. It was clean. We almost had a couple returns. Obviously, the pooch kick that we get the turnover on. I mean, all of those things led to the win.
How would you say Brady and Brees looked overall? I mean, obviously there's a lot of interest in this game because it's the first 40-something QB.
Look, we'll look at the tape, and I'm going to focus on our team and our quarterback and giving him some better looks offensively. So I'd get back to certainly we'll look back later and we play these guys again too. But they're two great players, and we'll look at the tape and evaluate where we need to go for next week's game.
Quite a few defensive pass interference on both sides today. Several other penalties. Was that something you kind of expected maybe in this first game?
I was just asked that question. We can't control that. I mean, in other words, the game's going to be officiated, and especially this year, we're trying to really just focus on the things that we can control. And you just want to have, hopefully it's consistent, but look, we'll look at the film and go from there. Last question.
Sean, Alvin coming out with 2 touchdowns today, almost a third. I mean, did he look exactly like the kind of player you were expecting today? I mean, just after the injuries last year.
Yeah, look, he's had a great camp, and I throughout camp, you see it in his step. I'm proud of how he played, and I thought we had some good looks for him offensively. I said it early on, he's a big part of our offense, and he's kind of one of those versatile players. So I'm glad he's on our team. All right, thank you.